See, there's a reason why I'm not using the PPT today, as most lectures you all might have attended, is because maths is more on solving. I want you all to write everything that we discussed today. And the best part is today we'll be discussing something that you all already know, because since we are in the first week of these sessions, I thought rather than starting with something new, we should actually do something that we already know. In 8th standard, you all might remember that luckily all of us have been promoted now from 8 to 9. But when we had just started 8th standard, the first chapter of maths was rational and irrational numbers. But the problem is that we studied it in the first unit test. So probably some people might remember, some people might not. And that chapter gets slightly advanced in 9th standard. So we are not starting with the first chapter. We are starting with the second chapter of algebra. And it is very much related to the first chapter of 8th standard, right? So most of the things that we do today will be things that you all might know, but I think it's better to revise them so that everyone is on the same page, everyone is perfect with that part. And then we can go into more advanced stuff in 9th standard part. Fine. Okay. I hope everyone can see the page that I have in front of me. The reason I've kept a page right now is everything that we are discussing has to be written, so that every time there's a test, whether it's Adhyan test, whether it is school test, whether it is home test that you just want to give, you'll have something very compact to revise, or something that is easily revisable as compared to reading the entire textbook. Fine. So the topic that we're going to be discussing today is called as number theory. It sounds something complicated, but it's actually something that's very easy, something that we already know. Number theory is basically all the type of numbers that we have studied from probably in KG. We started learning maths, and it kept advancing a little. Then you all learned addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and finally we have reached 9th standard. So this is number theory is just a way of revising everything that we have done from there, right? So when we started with maths, the first thing that we started learning was how to count. How we start counting things at a place. If I ask you how many members are there in your house, so when you start counting and all these things. So when you start counting, that becomes the first type of numbers, right? See, whenever I'll be asking questions, I can't hear you all because you all are muted. But if I'm asking you all question, you all can either say the answer in your mind or say the answer out loud, so that you all can compare it to the answer. Because I'll ask a question, I'll take a pause, and then I'll give the correct answer. So you all can compare whether what you all were thinking is correct. And if it was wrong, then why it was wrong, then you all will get that idea. Fine. Okay, so number theory, if I ask you what is the most basic type of numbers that we use? Numbers that we start counting from. If I ask you how many members are there in your house, how will you start counting? You always start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So the type of numbers that starts from 1, I hope everyone has answered this correctly, are basically natural numbers. So that is, see, even the type of numbers I'm starting from 1. So it's very important in counting that we always start from 1. Okay? So natural numbers, bracket में we can give it one more name, एक और नाम दे सकते हैं इसको, counting numbers. How we start our counting. Right? I hope everyone is writing with me whatever we are discussing. Okay, if I ask you natural numbers, how do we denote it? Because every time I can't expect you all to keep writing such big words like natural numbers. So we'll denote it generally by the first letter. Since natural number starts from N, we'll denote it by the letter N. And which all numbers will come in that? The numbers will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you think it will ever stop? No, it will not stop. It will continue. So we'll put dot dot, which represents that this counting never stops. As in, we cannot have the last number, right? So that is the first type of number. Okay. Now, for counting, this is important. But what I feel is this is not enough for counting to be complete, for the counting to be whole. So we need one more type of numbers here. For example, if I ask you all Fine. My first question was, I asked you all how many members are there in your house or in your home, and you all could count that. But let us say I ask each one of you all, how many brothers do you all have? Fine. Some people might have two brothers. Some people might have one brother. Some people might not have a sibling, or they might not have a brother. They might have a sister instead. So what I'm realizing here is the answer can vary from 0, 1, 2, 3. So see, for counting, you might not require 0, but to complete the process of counting, if you all don't have anything and I ask you how many do you all have, that 0 is necessary. So that to add something to our natural numbers to complete our counting, we call it as whole numbers. This completes our counting process. That is a second type of number, whole numbers. I'm going slow so that I hope everyone is writing with me. Okay, and if I ask you what letter shall I denote the whole numbers by? The letter that we'll be using is W. The whole number starts from W. Is equal to, and which numbers will come in whole numbers? Yes, we will start from 0 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Here it's important to notice that natural number and whole number, is there any relation between them? Yes, in whole numbers, no, I can see natural numbers also. See, what we can do is we can take this entire part and actually say this is n, because natural numbers start from 1. So what I realize here is, though we have learned them separately, whole numbers के अंदर ही natural number है. खाली whole number में one extra thing has been added, that is 0. Fine. I hope this part is clear. Let's move on now. Okay, so counting process is done, but still I feel this is not enough, because you might have seen that if I ask you for the temperature of different places, then some places might have 30 degrees Celsius, some 10 degrees Celsius. I say you might have seen the weather and the temperatures with it. Some places might also be, all these places where it snows, you might have seen that temperatures are even below 0 degrees Celsius. So that means negative is also important, but that is not covered in these two numbers. So that will be covered in the third type of numbers. So can you all tell me what is the third type of number? I hope everyone is answering that the third type of numbers is integers, right? And the thing about integers is, if you all are thinking that I should denote it by the letter I, you are absolutely right. But sometimes they even use the letter Z for it. So some textbooks might use the letter I, some places might use the letter Z. So be careful, both mean the same thing. And what will come in this, if I have to make a list of integers? So obviously it will have 0. 0 is a part of integer. 1, 2, 3, 4, these are also parts of integers. But the extra thing that is there is before 0, the negative number. So what will come before 0? The same thing we have to follow this way, adding negative. So I'll write -1 here, -2, -3, and even the negative part doesn't stop. It will keep going on, right? This you must have noticed when we were drawing number lines last year. So whenever we required number lines last year, we were using these type of numbers, integers. So these are the three type of numbers that we have discussed. And here also, I can notice something, that in integers, I can see this much, so it's whole numbers only that we studied. And in that also, this much is natural numbers only. So what I realize is integers consists of natural numbers as well as whole numbers. And it has negative numbers that is extra. I hope this part is absolutely clear to everyone, that all the three things. I don't think so anything is new here or anything is challenging yet. But I feel the next type of number that we are going to do, some people might have confusion in it. So let us spend some time on this. The fourth type of number that we are going to study today are basically numbers that you might have seen other than these natural numbers, whole numbers, integers. I'm sure in your 8 to 9 years of learning math, you must have come across fractions and decimals. And obviously natural numbers, whole numbers, integers are not covering these. So the next type of number that we'll be discussing, which covers our fractions and decimals, is rational numbers. right? And one very interesting thing that you all will realize is many people, if I ask you, how should I denote it? If natural number is n, whole numbers is w, integers is I, then what is rational numbers? And many people obviously might answer that it is R. But R is not, R we are actually keeping for something much bigger. Fine. So here, the letter that we use here is Q. Rational numbers are denoted by Q. And the problem is how natural numbers, whole numbers, we could make a list of it. Rational numbers, you cannot make a list of it because rational numbers are infinite. Or also, we don't know where rational numbers start from. So rather than making a list, let us understand what rational numbers are. Let us understand the definition. Now, rational numbers, as I was telling you all, has fractions as well as decimals. So both I can't learn together. So in rational numbers, what I would say is there are two ways of writing one rational number. Every rational number can be represented in two ways. One is fraction. I hope everyone has seen fractions while solving. Most of you all might hate it also. Now, for a fraction to be called as rational numbers, what should it look like? Obviously, that upon should be there. Only then I can call it a fraction. No? Upon and whatever comes above, we call it numerator. Whatever comes below, we call it denominator. This basic thing you all might know. But for a fraction to be called as a rational number, it is very important that both numerator and denominator should have integers in it. So either they should already be integer upon integer, or I should be able to make them look like integer upon integer, right? That line might be confusing, we'll get to that. But basically, if anyone ever asks you, what is the fraction form of a rational number, or how does a fraction form of a rational number look like? Then I think rather than saying the textbook definition, a very simple way would be a fraction should be integer upon integer, then only it is a rational number. Taking a few examples, right? 5 upon 2. Now you might come across this example and you might think, should I call this a rational number or not? So let us go step by step. Tell me, is 5 a rational number? Then you all used to draw a number line. Did 5 come in that number line? See, I'll just get back my integer again. If I continue like this, don't you agree 4 ke baad 5 aayega? So 5 is an integer. Also, is 2 an integer, the denominator? 2 definitely is an integer. It is also coming in my list. What I realize is here the numerator is an integer, the denominator is an integer. Since both are integer, it is integer upon integer, and hence I can say it's a rational number. Fine. Let's take one more example. What about minus 7 upon 3? Is minus 7 upon 3 a rational number? Let's check. The numerator is minus 7. It's negative. Fine. Integer is negative also. The denominator is 3. Okay, even that is an integer. So even this is integer upon integer. So tell me, can I call them rational numbers, everyone? I hope everyone is answering in their head as yes. Even this is a rational number. So since now everything we have been discussing is so easy and so basic, let me try to confuse you all, right? What I'll do is I'll ask you all a simple question. Tell me 2. Is 2 a natural number? Yes, 2 is a natural number. Is 2 a whole number? Yes, 2 is also a whole number. Is 2 an integer? Yes, 2 is an integer as well. But tell me, this is 2 a rational number or not? Some people might say yes, some people might say no. That is okay. We are trying to learn here what the correct answer is. See, what I told you all is when we were discussing the fraction form, that either the number should be as integer upon integer, or I should make it look like integer. It might not look already, but I should be able to make it look like. So अगर मुझे इसको integer upon integer बनाना है, what should I do? All I have to do is write upon 1. 2 upon 1, if I divide it, no, the answer will be 2 only. So though in the beginning it was just 2. It was not as a fraction, but I could make it look like a fraction. Also, the numerator is also integer. The denominator is also integer. So integer upon integer hai, so fraction hai, rational number bhi hai. So one very important thing that we learn here is inside rational number, all natural numbers also come, because all natural numbers can be shown as that number upon 1. They say 5 is a rational number, 5 is a natural number. It can be shown as 5 upon 1. Minus, oh, sorry. Same logic say all whole numbers are also rational numbers. Like if I have 0 with me, that's the only new thing apart from actual number, right? Can I show 0 as a fraction? Yes, I can. The best part is 0. I need not write 1. I can write any number below because 0 upon anything is 0 only. So if 0 is given, even that I can make it look like a fraction, integer upon integer. So even whole numbers are rational numbers. Integers though definitely are rational numbers. So this is a very important thing that we need to notice, that rational numbers में natural, whole और integer तीनों आएगा. Fine. I hope this part is very clear. This was the first form of rational numbers. Let us move on to the second type. That this also is nothing new. You might have already seen it. This type is basically decimal form. Decimal point you must have seen. Some people don't like this also. Now, if I'm talking about decimal form also in that has two types. I'll show you how. See, let's talk about 5 upon 2. If I'm writing 5 upon 2 and I ask her to divide it, right? So we realize that whenever a fraction is given to us and it has to be made into a decimal, we should divide that because upon stands for division. So if I divide it, I'm not showing you the steps. We'll discuss that later. But what I come to know is the answer that we end up getting is this, 2.5. What do we realize here is 2.5 means it is the answer is stopping here. There is no more decimals coming, right? Whereas if I take, let's say, minus 7 upon 3, if I write minus 7 upon 3 and I want to divide that, here the answer will not be as simple as just 2.5. Okay, minus is there, so I'll write minus. But when I divide these two, the answer will, if you all divide it and see, the answer will come up to be 2.333, and it will not stop on. So I see there is a difference between these two answers. Here the decimal is stopping, or mathematically I can say it is terminating. Here is it stopping everyone? What does the dots represent? That it is not stopping. That means it is definitely not terminating. So I can say it is non-terminating. But it is not just non-terminating. I can even see that repeat bhi ho raha hai. 3 is repeating again and again, and it will only be 3s after this. So it is not just non-terminating. It is also recurring. We don't use the word repeating to describe numbers. We use the word recurring. Recurring matlab this number 3 will keep on repeating forever. Fine. So this is what we realized when we saw these two. There are two types of decimals. So in rational, if there are two types, in decimal again there will be two types. Fine. Okay. Acha, just to clarify something, what if I talk about 2 upon 1, or just write basically 2 upon 1 is 2 only, right? Can I write this as a decimal form? Yes, we can write it as a decimal. The way 2 I can write 2 upon 1 as fraction form, same way 2 I can even write it as decimal form by writing 2.0. Some Rajnikant fans might be over here, and you all might have seen his movie. The part 2 of Robot was named 2.0, which was actually part 2 only, right? So if 2 is there, we can actually write it as 2.0. That is the same thing. Fine. So what we realize is decimals will have two types. So in that, let us number it like this. The first one, as we discussed, is the one that stops. So I'll call it terminating decimal. And rather than describing it, I'll just give you all a few examples. The first example is 2.5, the one that we discussed over here. Let's take one more example, 0.6. Also, it's stopping here. Just stopping does not mean it has to stop after 1. Okay, there can be more numbers also. Sorry. It can have 5.7 to it. Can you see this? There were 3 numbers after decimal point, but it is stopping after 8. So it is not recurring or non-terminating. It is terminating after 3. There can be more decimals also. 9.14792. Even this is terminating. And if I talk about 2.0 now, even this I'll be considering it in terminating decimal only because this 0 has no value. So I hope everyone has understood and made note of all these examples of terminating decimals also. Fine. Okay. Let us move on then to the next type. So this I had numbered small Roman number 1. So next one I'm numbering it as small Roman number 2. And the heading that I'm going to give it is we are again discussing the second type. This was terminating, that was this one. And this is non-terminating, it is not stopping, but it is repeating. So the word we were using is recurring. That is the name that we'll give it. Has a big name. Non-terminating. I hope everyone can understand my handwriting. Okay. So here what we'll do is, again, rather than describing it and people have already understood, so I'll give you all a few examples and few other ways of writing the same thing. See, the example that I used in the previous to describe this was this 2.3333 and so on. There was minus in it, but that is not important. It can have minus or it need not. Is equal to. Now, I don't want you to write it so many times with dots and everything. Such a one number becomes such a big thing. There is a compact way of writing it. I can write it like this: 2.3, and I can put a dot on top. Dot tells me that 3 is a decimal that will keep repeating. So I know, though I've written it in a small manner, I know it is going to be 2.33333 and so on. Okay, there is one more way of writing the same thing. I can write it as 2.3 and I can put a bar on it instead of a dot. Both mean the same thing. So we have learned two ways of representing the same number. You can use any one. Now, you all should realize if the textbook gives this form or this form, both mean the same thing. Right? Okay, let's take one more example. 5.898989 ... See, here also it's not necessary that only one number has to repeat. It can have 2 numbers, 3 numbers, 10 numbers also repeating. That doesn't matter. Fine. But if I want to write it in a compact form, how do I write it? I'll write it as 5.89. Now there are two ways again. Either dot I can put it for both individually. Dot दोनों पे है, मतलब दोनों साथ में repeat होते जा रहे हैं. Or I can't put two bars, okay? I can write it this way: 5.89 bar. So either you can put dots on top or you can put an entire bar. Both mean the same thing. Okay, same logic. If I take, let's say, one more example, 4.5888 ... and so on. Now here you'll realize that fourth decimal ke pehle, that we don't need to look at. But afterwards, 5, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8 and so on. So 8 is repeating, 5 is not repeating. So this, if I want to write it, no, 4.5, 8 के ऊपर ही dot आएगा. Because 5 नहीं repeat हो रहा है, 8 repeat हो रहा है. So 8 will have a dot on top of it. Or if I want to put a bar, 4.58 bar will be on top of just 8 because only 8 is repeating. Fine. I hope this part is very clear to everyone. So one thing you all should realize is that if I give you all a sum, and that will be the first type of sum for today. If I give you all a sum where I'm giving you all fractions, you all can easily look at it and see, अच्छा ये तो definitely rational है क्योंकि integer upon integer. But by looking at it right now, you might not be able to say whether it will be coming in terminating or whether it will be coming in non-terminating recurring. दोनों में से कौन सा होगा ऐसा देख के अभी पता नहीं चलेगा. That also has a trick to it. I'll tell you all. But that is what our first type of sums is going to be. But before that, I hope everything that we have written is very clear, right? Also, I hope everyone has written it. Don't be lazy in writing short forms and everything. This notes you all can actually keep it for your 10th standard also. It will be helpful. So coming back to, this was the theory part of today, but coming back to the sums part. whatever sums I give you today are going to be rational numbers. If you all have the worksheet that I have sent on the group has reached everyone, you all will realize the question itself says that these are rational numbers. You have to convert it into decimal form. All are fractions. And one thing is very important, that when you all are dividing it, no, to get it into decimal form, जैसे हम लोग ने इनको divide करके decimal बनाया था, same way when you all are going to be dividing it, either you should get terminating answer, मतलब answer रुक जाना चाहिए, or you should get recurring answer. One of them has to happen. If that is not happening, that means your sum is not over. You have to keep dividing either till it stops or till it recurs or repeats. Fine? Okay. So if you do not have the worksheet yet, that's not a problem. I'll be anyways writing the sums down, but you all will get it to do your homework. Okay. So let us start with the sums then. So in the worksheet, the question says, write the following numbers in decimal form. And the first number that we are going to be, first sum that we are going to be solving is this, 73 upon 10. Right? Now, whenever you all see 73 upon 10, that makes division very easy. Whenever you all have denominator में 10 or 100 or 1000, that makes the division very easy. I've seen so many students in the 10th standard, in the 11th standard, taking it aside and dividing it by that method we learned in primary. Here, whenever you have 10 or 100 or 1000 in the denominator, you all don't need to do that. You all can have a very simple method. All you have to do is look at this number, the numerator. Tell me, is there a decimal in 73? I agree, बीच में नहीं है, but the way I told you, 2 was 2.0. Same logic से, do you agree here also 3 के बाद एक दिख नहीं रहा है, but decimal है. And whenever we divide it by 10 or 100 or 1000, no, that decimal that is just after 3 will shift. It will shift in this direction because the number will become smaller when you divide. How many places will it shift? It will shift that many places. How many of the zeros are there? जैसे कि, as I told you all, 73, if I want to write the answer, the decimal is currently over here. No? We are dividing it by 10. It has 1 0. So the decimal will shift one place over here. तो यहाँ पे आ जाएगा. यहाँ पे मतलब कहाँ पे? 7 और 3 के बीच में. This will be your answer. So for people who know this, that's great. But for people who don't know, I hope you all are finding this very easy. See, I have not done any division over here. The way you all might be hating division, even I hate division. So here, it's much easier. If 10 is there, the decimal was after 3, I shifted it back. It became 7.3. So let us take the second sum now. I want you all to try it out. The sum is 247 upon 100. I'm giving you all a minute. I think I'm showing it slowly so that you all understand it, but you all can do it fatafat. Write the answer and keep it ready. Let us compare with whatever answer I'll get. And I hope everyone has written down the answer and let's compare. So if I talk about 247, did it have a decimal? Yes, it had a decimal right here. And I know if I'm dividing it by 100, the decimal is going to shift here. The number is going to become smaller. How many places will it shift? It will shift as many zeros are there. 2 zeros, I'll have to shift it 2 places. So 1, 2. So this is where the decimal will be. This matlab where it will be between 2 and 4. So the answer will be 2.47. Fine. I hope this part is clear. Let's go to the next question. 3. The question is 291 upon 1000. Okay, I want everyone to write this answer also fast. Keep the answer ready. Okay, let's compare the answers and I hope everyone is done writing. So 291. 291 पे decimal था या नहीं था? Yes, 1 के बाद यहाँ पे था. And अगर मैं 1000 से या 100 से 10 से divide कर रहा हूँ, the decimal will be going left. This. How many places? See, if I count here, there are 3 zeros in 1000. So it will shift 3 places. That means if I have to go stepwise, I'll go 1, 2, 3. The decimal will come here. So decimal will come before 291. And before decimal, there has to be a digit, by the way. And if there is no digit, we can put a 0. So this should be our answer, 0.291. Fine till here? Fine. Let's move on. Okay, some people might be thinking that, okay, when 10, 100, 1,000 and all is there, that's easy. But what if that is not there? Can we still follow the same steps? In some sums, you all might be able to. Let us look at this one, the fourth sum. That is 13 upon 5. Okay. 13 upon 5. Obviously, we can't do this part directly over here because there is no 10 or 100 or 1,000 below. I agree with you. But if 10 was there, don't you agree it would have been easy? Agar 5 nahi hota, 10 hota. Then answer would have been 1.3. Very easy. But now 5 is there. So that does not make it difficult because the best part is I can convert 5 to become 10. 5 ke table mein 10 aata hai na? 5 ones are 5, 5 twos are 10. So tell me, if I want to convert this denominator 5 to 10, I should multiply it by which number? I should multiply it with the number 2 because 5 into 2 is 10. But there is one important rule in mathematics that in a fraction, if any change you all do in the numerator, in the denominator, that same change has to be done in the numerator as well. और उसका vice versa भी चलेगा, that if you make any changes in the numerator, that same change has to be done in the denominator. So like what change did I do? देखो, sum actually ऐसा था, 13 upon 5. What change did I do? I multiplied it by 2. Same logic से ऊपर भी मुझे multiply by 2 करना पड़ेगा. So I hope you all know the table of 13. 13 twos is 26. And 5 twos is 10. See, I have not done any division here. Yes, multiplication was there, but सब कुछ maths में hate नहीं कर सकते. So if I multiplied, I got 26 upon 10. And can't I use the same logic that I used here? 26 upon 10 है. 26 का decimal यहाँ पे है. And एक ही 0 नीचे तो decimal एक ही place shift होने वाला है. So that means the answer that I'll end up getting is 2.6. I hope this part is very clear, everyone. Fine. So when I saw 5 niche, I multiplied it by 2, made it 10, and it became very easy. I want you to try the same thing in the fifth part. The question is 4 upon 5. Okay. Try this out. 4 upon 5. There's 5 in the denominator. Check whether you all can actually convert it to 10 or not. And if you all can make it 10, I think answer becomes very easy. Right? We just have to follow the same steps. Okay. Fine. I hope everyone has started doing this at least. I saw 5 in the denominator. 5 के table में 10 आता है by multiplying it by 2. Denominator में 2 से multiply किया तो obviously numerator में भी 2 से multiply करना ही पड़ेगा. That rule we have to follow. Any change in the denominator has to be made in the numerator. Any change in the numerator has to be made in the denominator. Fine. Okay, if I continue, 4 twos, I hope everyone knows 4 ka table at least. 4 twos are 8. 5 twos are 10. Okay. I hope nobody has tension because they just saw one digit. अगर one digit है, तो 8 decimal is here already. 1 0 है तो decimal 1 place shift होगा, इधर place shift होगा. तो 0.8 लिख के छोड़ मत देना. There has to be something before point also. You have to put 0. So this becomes 0.8. Yes, I hope everyone is very clear with this. Okay, if 5 came in the denominator, I multiplied it by 2. So same logic. Remember, we had discussed this example 5 upon 2. It's not in the worksheet. But if I take 5 upon 2, if 5 was there, I multiplied it by 2 to make it 10. Now apply the same logic. Tell me if 2 is there. What should I multiply it by to make that 10? 5 into 2 किया तो 10 आया. तो 2 into क्या करके 10 आएगा? 2 into 5 करके 10 आएगा. So if I 5 upon 2, I want to make it 10, I multiply it by 5. तो अगर नीचे multiply by 5 किया, ऊपर 2 से multiply मत कर देना. ठीक है? If this is the change in the denominator, the same change has to be in the numerator as well. Fine? So if I multiply it, 5 5 is at 25 होता है, 2 5 is at 10 होता है, and that is how, if you'll remember, the answer that I got was 2.5. I agree, some people might find dividing it by 2 also easy, you all can follow it, but there is a reason why we are doing this method, right? So I want everyone to follow this method for now. Once you all are convinced you all know this, then you all can follow whatever method you all want to do. Okay. Okay, let's look at the sixth one. Okay, there is that 2 example then. The question is 7 upon 2. 7 upon 2. I want everyone to try this by yourself. Denominator में 2 है, उसको 10 बनाओ पहले. Right? So I hope everyone has tried it out with the same method that I discussed. Denominator में 2 है. How do I make it 10? By multiplying it by 5. तो denominator में multiply by 5 किया तो ऊपर भी multiply by 5 करना ही पड़ेगा. That rule we have to follow. If I multiply 7 5s is 35. 2 5s is 10. 35 by 10. Now, as you all keep doing it, no, I was showing you all again the steps, but I feel now, when you all start doing these sums, I want you all to write the answer directly. 35 upon 10 देखा is clearly 10 है, decimal एक पीछे जाने वाला है. Answer will be 3.5. If you all are not able to do that, follow the step आराम से. Let your brain get trained. And once it gets trained, then you all will also become as fast as this. You all will be able to get the answers directly. Fine. What I shall do is, since you're running short of time, I'll do one more sum. Fine, and I will expect you all to try a few more sums at home, and then we can discuss that in the next class. Fine, the sum that I'm doing right now is the 7th one. The question is 19 by 4. Now here, the logic that I apply is that making 4 को 10 बनाना, 100 बनाना, maybe मेरे को बहुत सोचना पड़ेगा. So if I ever come across a number 4, see 5 है तो multiply by 2 कर दो, 2 है तो multiply by 5 कर दो, 4 है so rather than thinking, what I will do is, I know 4 is 2 into 2. I can break 4 as 2 into 2. Means the same thing, right? 2 2s are 4 ही आता है, तो I've not changed anything. But ऐसे करने से क्या पता चलता है मुझे कि there is 1 2 here. अच्छा, इस 2 को अगर 10 बनाना है तो what should I multiply it by? I should multiply it by 5. एक और 2 भी है, एक ही 2 था तो सिर्फ multiply by 5 किया, बट यहाँ पे 2 बार 2 आ रहा है. इस 2 के लिए मैंने multiply by 5 किया, इस 2 के लिए मैंने multiply by 5 किया, तो 2 बार 2 आ रहा है, तो मुझे 2 बार multiply by 5 करूंगा तब मुझे 10 आएंगे, right? Okay, if any confusion, I'll just redo that again. I'll explain that again. 2 बार 2 आ रहा है, there is a 2 here, there is a 2 here. एक 2 को 10 बनाना है, for this 2, I'll multiply by 5. इस 2 को भी 10 बनाना है, 10 बनाने से easy होता है, तो इसके लिए I'll multiply again by 5. So here, do you agree? This part is what I've made extra. 2 बार जो multiply 5 किया, वो नया part आया है. और अगर वो मैंने न्यू डिनोमिनेटर में चेंज किया है, वही चेंज मुझे into 5 न्यूमरेटर में करना पड़ेगा, right? So if I do this, what I realize is 2 into 5 is 10. I worked with this, the arrow that I've written. And this 2 into 5 give me one more 10 into 10. Acha, 19 5 into 5, that is basically 19 into 25. Acha, fatafat, can everyone multiply this and tell me what the answer is? 19 into 25. What you all can do is you all can put it in the message. If you'll get the answer, 19 into 25. Okay, I hope everyone has multiplied it correctly. Everyone has put the answer as well. If you'll get it properly, no, if you'll have multiplied it, the answer that you should end up getting by multiplying 19 into 25 should be 475. This is the answer. And if you notice, denominator is 10 into 10. What is 10 into 10, everyone? 10 into 10 is 100. Right? So 475 upon 100. दो zeros है, दो decimal पीछे जाएगा. So the answer that you'll end up getting is 4.75. Fine. In case you'll have had any confusion in this part, we'll be discussing it again. Similar type of sum, we'll be discussing it again in the next class, so that this becomes perfect. And the reason we are doing this, there's a very important reason, which I'll be discussing it in the next class. So what I suggest is, if you all have understood this part properly, then as a homework, you all should go through the sheet again that I made you all write the entire number theory, understand what a rational number is, understand what a natural integer whole number is, सब समझ लो, एक बार go through कर लेना, and solve all the sums from 1 to 6 again. Okay? Don't do it today, because today let it assimilate in your brain. But tomorrow, just try doing it and try using the